And next up, we have Mr. Case. You're recognized for 5 minutes of questions. Mr. Case is participating virtually.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Secretary, first of all, thank you for your response to my letter on the REPI program in Hawaii. I appreciate that response and will certainly be following up with you, but appreciate the prompt response and the commitment to what is a critical program in Hawaii to not only provide full and adequate buffers to Army and other training facilities, but also to the long and good relationship that has existed between the military and a civilian community in Hawaii. So just a simple thanks on that. And then General Evans, I want to follow up on our discussion of the other day. Thank you for that. On the Hawaii Infrastructure Readiness Initiative. As you know, in 2019, the Army committed to a 10-year program of $1 billion of upgrades in military facilities throughout Hawaii. Many facilities need that upgrade. Things are going along fine for a few years, including one of the child care centers that you referenced. So appreciate that very much. But as you know, the current budget did not include any HERI projects on it, which is causing us great distress because HERI was supposed to be a commitment over and above the normal military construction requirements of our country, given the seriousness of the situation and the critical importance of the Indo-Pacific. My colleague, Senator Schatz, engaged General MilCon-VA on this subject. He's a member of the comparable subcommittee over on the Senate side, and he asked him straight up whether we had your commitment to continue with HERI, even though this budget itself does not have HERI projects in it. And I do note that on your unfunded priorities list, you do have some HERI projects, as well as, or I take that back, actually, it's in your future year funding programs, if I'm correct. So I'm just asking you the exact same question that Senator Schatz asked of General MilCon-VA. Are you committed to HERI, and do you expect to deliver $1 billion of HERI projects within the 10-year window?
Sir, thank you for the question. Absolutely, we're committed to HERI and the infrastructure and the importance of the Hawaii infrastructure there. So, sir, you're absolutely right. We have 6 of the HERI projects funded already, and 6 more in the FIDEP, and we have a couple in the unfunded priority list, which from 19 to 10-year period, we're looking at about $1 billion, probably $916 billion. 495 million of that is in the program. In addition to that, we also are looking at the quality of life in terms of barracks, and we have a 10-year plan to invest $851 million in barracks. But, sir, you have my commitment.
Okay, thank you so much, General. And, you know, I want to follow up on the line of questioning by our chair, because it is distressing to me as well that the reduction in the actual presented budget was so significant. And you and I talked about this exact issue in terms of the escalation in the cost of already approved projects. I think I recall you saying that the figure was as high as 31% escalation in 1 year in some theaters, especially in my theater, where the cost of construction is higher to start with. If I understand what you are saying to this committee, you are essentially saying that you did not submit in the normal budget the cost escalation part of the projects that are already approved. In other words, your budget came in with new projects, but you left to the unfunded priorities list the cost escalation from previously improved projects, and your expectation is that Congress will undertake to increase those amounts to keep those projects underway. And if that is the case, then I'm back to the same question that the chair has been asking, which is, where are the priorities here? Because that would indicate to me that you, the Army, were under very severe budget constraints internally in the Department of Defense to come up with some form of budget, and essentially military construction projects were, in fact, sacrificed for other priorities throughout, but you didn't want to take the existing projects off the table. And so first of all, tell me whether that's a correct assessment, at least of the facts, but then to comment, I don't think that's the right way to budget.
Sir, thank you for the question. So between 21 and 22, we were experiencing, the Corps of Engineers was experiencing a 24% increase in cost due to labor and materials in the supply chain. Now we're experiencing a 30% increase due to fuel. And that is causing some of the bids, new bids for the contractors not to hold the bid. And particularly why we come back for an authorized reprogramming. You did see the cost to complete. Those are very important projects. There are housing projects in there, particularly the overseas housing projects, and it was important for us to make sure that we included those back in there because we're committed to people and the quality homes. And so, yes, we are experiencing the cost, and we are using the chief's requirement to submit a list of unfunded requirements, and that's why you've seen the cost to complete on the UPA list, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm out of time, so I'll yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Case. The gentleman yields back.